The SENZO MEYIWA murder case, it was meant to start today once again, but it's seen another postponement because the lawyer that is meant to now assume the case for accused number one, who lost his lawyer in December, simply said he had not had enough time within the 2 months that he was given to read 40,000 pages of this particular case, much to the frustration of Judge Rata Mokgwatleng. The kind of stance that this judge should take in that matter, again, to restore this waning public confidence.
Well, in this case, it was quite correct for Judge Mokgwatleng to essentially read the right act to Advocate Mnisi to say he must either come next week Tuesday being prepared for the trial to run, or there must be other means that are devised for the case to run. But this is, again, another common trend where we're seeing people on the day of the court case, they change lawyers, or sometimes the lawyers say that they are not ready. It is unacceptable, and in fact, it is in some ways unethical for a lawyer to wait until 2 months have gone by, 3 months have gone by, and say that they're not ready to proceed in a case that they have been involved for well over 3 years. Again, it is something that unfortunately judges or magistrates are really limited in terms of the kinds of interventions that can be made. But perhaps it is time that the legal profession should also start speaking out in some of these cases, because, like I said, some of these points are because the lawyers involved are taking really unmeritorious points in order to delay proceedings. And that for us is a concern, and the legal community should really start speaking about it.
I think it's just about 36 hours later after Mnisi made his announcement that he was not ready. That was Umbegezeli Benjamin of the Judges Matter, Dontoni, and he says, oh, no. What Mnisi did is unacceptable and unethical. And therefore, you know what, judges and magistrates, they're very limited in the kinds of interventions. So technically, he stands with Judge Rata in this case, because what Mnisi is doing is unethical, unacceptable. And in this case, he also gives examples of where, this is where legal counsels use Section 35 and Dondonis just to hold and delay things. So what are your thoughts on that? So Mnisi, I believe, in my opinion, he made it quite clear what the issue is here. Mnisi said it's 40,000 pages. You know what? I have, of course, it's not court records. Court records are not drafted the way you would read a book. It's not paragraph to paragraph. It's literally John and then what he said, Peter, and then. So it's a whole different kind of reading model. But hey, Judge Rata says, you know what? He has read the 40,000 pages. His wife and children are ready to come to court to stand and confirm this information. Just the same way, what was his name again? Can't remember his name. Why is his name Rana? Oh, I know it's his name is run away from me. But do you remember the guy who stood up and Judge Mamela said, take the oath? What am I saying? And Judge Rata said, take the oath. Take the oath. Oh, his name? Ashley. I think that was his name. Let me know in the comment section if I got the name right. But Judge said to him, to his registrar at the time, because Rose has been MIA for quite some time, okay? We don't know where she is. She didn't let us members of the public jury know. But wherever she is, I know no one is clicking their hands when they're calling her or yelling at her name. But you know what? I digress. So this registrar who stood up and told Judge Rata December 10th, stood up and Judge Rata said, take the oath and tell the people, okay, tell the people what you know. Tell the people that you saw Advocate Ngomezulu in the court premises. And suddenly when it comes to taking an oath, Ashley said, oh, no. I'm not oathing nothing. I'm not saying anything under oath. What I told you was privileged, and if you want it on record, that's on you. I'm not going to be the one putting it on record. And the very next day, Advocate Ngomezulu passed away, and his passing was announced, and that was the beginning of Mzansi legal problems. As it stands right now, Mnisi immediately made it very clear that if he has a deadline of Tuesday to finish, he would rather be excused than to commit professional suicide. So that is literally what is happening right now. Let me know your thoughts on what you think about Umbegezeli calling this unacceptable and unethical, and that, you know what, the legal profession, they need to, and the community gangs over there, they need to start talking about it and creating limits. Okay, there's got to be limits, because as it is right now, and from where Benjamin Mbegezeli is standing, it looks like Mnisi is playing games. It's not me who's saying that, okay? So I'm still telling you that in front of me here, I pulled up 2 books. So I have the Thabo Bester storybook. It has, oh, such a cute number. Now when you're thinking in comparison with what Mnisi has to go through, it is 239 pages. 239 pages. And I appreciate each and every one of you who broke down 40,000. I think when we hear 40,000, we're not really processing that number. It's 40,000 pages, not 40,000 words. And anyway, it's now increased to 60,000 pages, not words, okay? Then I also have the book When Love Kills, the Tragic Tale of AKA and Anele. These are, prominent cases that are coming up, in case you haven't picked up the theme of why I picked these 2 books. This book is 319 pages. These are books that I'm still going through. I haven't finished going through them. FYI. In fact, the bookmark is actually a receipt. Shout out to Books and Things. Where's the date? Oh no. Okay, I'm embarrassed to say this. You know what? I should take a picture and show you guys. I literally purchased these books on the 29th of April 2024. Have I finished reading both these books, which amount to less than, what did I say? So the AKA book has 319 pages, and the Thabo Bester book has 240 pages. That's less than 550 pages. If my quick math is working with me, less than 550 pages. It has been a year, ladies and gentlemen, and I stand before you and confess that I have not finished reading both these books. In fact, the plan was to read them during my lives. Okay, so make sure you become a member, because these are part of the things we're going to do. We're going to do book readings. Okay, we're going to increase our reading skills. But yeah, hit that join button. It's in the description box down below. But guys, I want to go back to 60,000 pages. And he's not just reading and highlighting. Let's use Judge Nathan, okay, over there in the Western Cape. He has a yellow highlighter. He made the defense lawyer for accused number 1, Mr. Apollos, who has suddenly confessed that he lied on some parts of his statement. And he said, okay, let's read it line by line together as a court. And you tell us which is a lie, which is the truth. They did that line by line. So technically, they didn't just read through it. They went line by line. He said, that's true, that's false, that's true. And the judge is highlighting. That's literally what Mnisi is doing. Not looking for lies. No, Mnisi is analyzing and highlighting and then creating a defense. Do you pick up what I'm putting down? So Guningi, right? Guningi. If you're a channel member at this time, let us go ahead and type the Mnisi emoji in the comment section down below, because I think he needs to be granted more grace than he is ever going to receive in that courtroom. And thank you to the people that broke down that 40,000 pages is equal to 800 pages a day. Do you guys want me to say that? 800 pages a day. I just read to you 2 books, page numbers, which amount to less than 600 pages that I have not completed in a year. I'm embarrassed. So you know what? Mnisi deserves his flowers. Go ahead as well, and go ahead and type the flower emoji for Mnisi, because I commend him for having taken on the task. He might have overpromised. His experience, however, as a prosecutor, state prosecutor, and an experienced advocate, I think he should have approached the judge ahead of time ahead of this return today to let him know, I am not even at 1,000 pages right now, sir. I'm going to need more time. And then they would have called them in, before the 14th of April to extend Ndondoni, the adjournment, and reach an agreement, and. Poor Mzansi. I imagine Mnisi has not even consulted with him. But another thought came up as well. This is someone who mentioned this in the comment section. And I think that, do you guys remember the time when the judge said, I'm just suggesting, I'm not saying you should do it? I think the judge expected he really did expect Advocate Mnisi to go up to Advocate Ngomezulu, the late Advocate Ngomezulu's wife, knock on the door, ask for, Advocate Ngomezulu's notes, and continue from there. I really think this is where the judge is going. I think that's the discrepancy that is at hand. Guningi. Oh my goodness. But you know what? I'm going to add the judge's reaction right here. Because watching it a second time, that's where you really feel the bite. Mnisi's problems are many. And they start with Judge Rata, who has given him just a week. It's not even a week because there's Easter. So you take out Easter, it's less than a week to complete all this. Mzansi is going to have to intercede, says the judge. Your client will have to intercede on your behalf. And if you're not following the Judge and Nathan trial that I am posting for you, especially all the videos from yesterday, where the judge, if you see it labeled Masterclass Law 101, I don't even remember the title, but if it says 101, you have to watch those videos. I know. Just watch those videos so you understand, because the judge breaks down the responsibilities of yourself as a client in the court. Mnisi is never going to have to be behind the bars that Omuzi is behind. He's never going to have to be. Muzi has to intercede. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to be next week. Heartbreaking, devastating. Where is the justice for SENZO MEYIWA? I'm going to end this here. Go ahead and watch the clip over here. Listen attentively. Let me know what you picked up that you didn't pick up yesterday. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on my next upload.
Yeah, this Section 35. Section 35 is not immutable.
Oh, thank you.
Section 35, 5, F, A, B, C, all those sections, they are not immutable. You can't abuse the system and then rely on the fact that the Constitution says you have to have a fair trial. The fair trial, like I quoted the case of a king, this state versus king, Arams, you forgot that case.
Yes.
Where they say fairness must also be accorded to the state. And state witnesses, yes, Colonel Beninda. He's testified, I don't know for how long. It must end. And even the SCA, even the Constitutional Court, if you have accorded a person like Mr. Mnisi, I did that. No judge in South Africa would have done that. You didn't even know how long you wanted. You remember? You just said you were not ready. I said, how long do you want? And you shook your head. You didn't know. And I gave you 2 months and 3 weeks. Even the JP fought with me. Yeah, he's right. Because there are other cases, for instance, Mr. Baloy has to do even Mr. Zibanda, which they've got to attend to. How do you give a fellow to prepare an ordinary criminal case? Can you sit down?
Thank you.
There's nothing mysterious about murder. And I'm not talking because I don't have the experience. I used to defend so-called freedom fighters of the ANC, PAC. I know marathon cases. I've attended several. I even did cases like, for instance, the case which involved high-ranking police officials. But This is real abuse. And people who are seeing this, they think I am too lenient, or I enjoy doing this case. Mr. Nomad. In this case, everybody started to this case except me. You were there when Mr. Maumela was presiding. Is that not so, Mr. Nomad? Yeah. I also read that report of the proceedings which started on the 27th of January 2020, is it?
2022, it was in February.
Yeah, that's in February. Yeah. I read all that report. It's there in my office. Now, it surprises me an advocate who's experienced as Mr. Mnisi can't read 40,000 pages in 2 months. Please. Surprises me. I'm going to accord the final postponement. And if you're not ready on this postponement, then your client will have to intercede on your behalf. And the final postponement, I can only give you up to Tuesday. Tuesday is the holiday.
After Monday, it's a holiday.
Yeah. What's the date on Tuesday?
Just quickly checking the date.
As it is the court, my lord, I do not want to interject. However, if the court says that, it's only saying that I must come next week ready.
So what?
If the court is saying that I should come next week ready to proceed with the matter,
Why not?
then I'm going to request that I be excused from representing
No, fine.
accused number one,
You can say
because
that
I
on
can't do
Tuesday.
that.
You can say that on
Thank you.
Tuesday.
Yes.
But this case is postponed to Tuesday. You said the date is the
22nd.
22nd. Mr. Mnisi, you have had enough, more than enough time. 2 months and 3 weeks. That's what we accorded you. It's a postponement. And you have been in this trial since when my predecessor, Judge Maumela, was seized with the matter. And every day you were listening to evidence which was adduced. It's not like you're a new counsel coming into the matter cold. No. That's why I told you, you were cross-examining across the board, all of you. Even you was clearing where your clients were not involved in confessions. All of you cross-examined, and I allowed it. Because you argued that our clients are, are charged with a common purpose. So we are entitled to cross-examine on each and every aspect. I said, okay, fine. But it can't go on and on and on and on. So Mr. Mnisi, you must be ready on Tuesday. We'll continue on that day. Okay.